The Bhagavat Gita, Cantos 7 to 12, Synopsis. The seventh canto is called as Jnana Vijnana Yoga, namely the yoga of Jnana and Vijnana. The Supreme Spirit is rooted in the knowledge of the self-controlled man. It is the knowledge of the Almighty. There are two aspects of this knowledge. One is the knowledge of God in His formless aspect, namely the absolute Brahman, which is Jnana. The second is the knowledge of God with qualified aspect, with form, namely the manifest divinity, which is Vijnana. Elaborating on this concept, Krishna says, earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, reason and ego. These constitute my nature divided into 8 parts. This is my lower material nature. The Jiva, or the life principle by which the whole universe is sustained, is my higher spiritual nature. All beings have evolved from these twofold forms of my nature, which is known as Prakriti. I am the source of the entire creation, and into me again the creation disappears. There is nothing else besides me, and like clusters of yarn beads formed by knots on a thread, all this is threaded on me. Bhumirapo nalo vayuhu khammano buddhirevacha ahankara iti yamme bhinna prakritirashtadha apareyam yitastvanyam prakritim vidhi me param jiva bhutam mahabaho yayedam dharyate jagat etadyoni bhutani sarvani tyupadharaye aham krishnasya jagatah prabhava pralayasthata matta parataram nanyati kinchidasti dhananjaya mayi sarvam idam protam sutre manigana iva. There are 3 modes of Prakriti known as gunas. They are Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Sattva indicates the quality of goodness. The Rajas indicates the principle of activity. The Tamas is the principle of inertia. The whole of this creation is a Maya or a delusion evolved from these 3 modes of Prakriti. Because of this Maya, most people cannot understand that God is the fundamental essence of the universe. They are caught up in the power of God, in all that He has created, that they perceive. Those, however, who constantly adore the Almighty can see beyond the 3 gunas and recognize God as the eternal essence of all. Tribhir gunamayer bhavaihi Yebhi sarvam idam jagat mohitam nabhijanati mamevya paramavyayam Daivi hyesha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mameva ye prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. Krishna divides those who worship him into four types. They are 1. The afflicted people, 2. The aspirant for knowledge, 3. The seeker after worldly possessions, and 4. The person of wisdom. Of these, the best is the person of wisdom, who is always established in identity with God and who is exclusively devoted to God. What does such virtuous persons of wisdom seek, and what is the reward obtained by them? To answer this issue, Krishna says that they strive for deliverance from old age and death. During this process, they understand the different aspects of the Almighty God. They know the Brahman, which is the absolute reality. They know the whole Adhyatma, which is the totality of all embodied souls. They know the entire field of karma or action. They know the Adhibhuta, which is the whole range of perishable matter. They know the Adhidaiva, which is the totality of subtle bodies. They know Adhiyajna, which is the unmanifest aspect of God who pervades within the heart of all beings as the inner witness. Jara marana mokshaya mamashritya yatantiye te brahma tadvidu krishnam adhyatmam karma chakhilam sadhibhuta adhidhaivam mam sadhiyajnam cha ye viduh prayanakale pichamam te vidur yukta chetasah. The 8th canto is called the Akshara Brahma Yoga, namely the knowledge of the everlasting Brahman, the Supreme Spirit. At the end of the earlier chapter, Krishna used the words Brahman, Adhyatma, etc. Arjuna now asks a few doubts. They are: what is Brahman? What is Adhyatma? What is Karma? What is Adhibhuta? What is Adhidaiva? What is Adhiyajna? And how is God to be realized at the time of death by those of steadfast mind? Krishna tells that the supreme, everlasting, unmanifest, absolute reality is Brahman. One's own self, namely the individual soul, is called Adhyatma. And the discharge of spirits which brings forth the existence of beings is called karma. All perishable objects are adhibhuta. Purusha the vital energy or the unmanifest life principle of the whole creation is Adhidaiva. And in this body, the Purusha himself, dwelling as the inner witness, is Adhiyajna. Aksharam Brahma Paramam Swabhavod Atmamuchyate Bhutabhavod Bhavakaro Visarga Karma Sanyitaha Adhibhutam Ksharo Bhavaha Purushachadhidhaivatam Adhiyajno Habhivatra Dehe Dehabhrutam Vara. Brahman is the supreme. It is the embodiment of truth, knowledge and bliss. The knowers of the Vedas term Brahman as one which is everlasting. This supreme Brahman does not perish even though all beings perish. That is the supreme abode, attaining which no one returns to this mortal world. This unmanifest absolute Brahman is the supreme goal. Krishna then talks about how to attain the supreme goal, namely the realization of Brahman. That supreme Brahman, in whom all beings reside and by whom all this is pervaded, is attainable only through exclusive devotion. The person practicing meditation should close all the doors of the senses. You should firmly hold the mind in the cavity of the heart. You should think of Brahman in its absolute aspect. Thus, remaining steadfast in yogic concentration, he who leaves the body and departs uttering the syllable of Om reaches the supreme goal. It is easily attainable for those who constantly think of Brahman with undivided mind. Sarvadvarani samyamya manohridi nirudhyacha murnyadhayatmana pranam asthito yoga dharanam omityekaksharam brahma vyakaran manusmaran yaprayati tyajandeham sayati paramam gatim ananyachetaha satatam yo mam smarati nityashah tasyaham sulabha patha nitya yuktasya yojinah. In other words, great souls who have realized God are not reborn. Those who are not able to achieve this pass through the process of transmigration in the manifested world. To indicate that the absolute Brahman is the only imperishable reality and that the manifested world is perishable, Krishna says, all embodied beings emanate from Brahma at the beginning of the cosmic day. At the cosmic nightfall, they merge into the same Brahma. This multitude of beings, being born again and again, is dissolved under the compulsion of its nature at the coming of the cosmic night and rises again at the commencement of the cosmic day. Avyaktat vyaktaya sarvaha prabhavantyahārāgame ratriyāgame pradiyante tatraiva vyaktasamyake bhutagramasya evāyam bhūtva pradiyate ratriyāgame vasha partha prabhavatyaharāgame. Krishna then tells about the two paths, the bright and the dark, through which persons pass through after death. The bright path is one where there is no return to this world. The dark path is the one where they return to this world. The 9th canto is called as the Raja Vidya Rajaguhya Yoga, namely the yoga of sovereign science and the sovereign secret. The concept of absolute reality or Brahman is a central concept in Hinduism. Basically, Brahman is considered to be without any attributes or qualities. It is considered to be without gunas. It is beyond time and space. It has no particular form and is present within all living beings. It is everywhere. At the same time, in order to understand the vast nature of Brahman, the concept also allows a person to worship God through names and forms. Thus, there are two aspects of Brahman which are typically discussed by scriptures. One is without qualities called Nirguna Brahman, and the other is with qualities called as Saguna Brahman. The concept of Nirguna Brahman allows a person to focus on Brahman's eternal qualities rather than getting distracted by different names and forms. The concept of Saguna Brahman allows a person to see deities as a way to understand Brahman's vast nature and to worship him through names and forms. In this chapter, Krishna initiates Arjuna with the knowledge of the Nirguna Brahman, the unmanifested divinity, and also with the knowledge of the Saguna Brahman, the manifest divinity. He says that this knowledge is a supreme science, most secret, imperishable, and directly enjoyable. Idam tute guhyatamam pravakshyamyanasujave jnanam vijnana sahitam yajñātvā mokṣase shubhāt rajavidya rajaguhyam pavitram idamuttamam pratyakshaavagamam dharmyam susukham kartumavyayam. Krishna says, I am the unmanifested divinity and the whole of this universe is permeated by me. Just as the extensive air which is moving everywhere, being born of ether, ever remains in ether, likewise know that all beings who have originated from my thought abide in me. Yatha akasha sthito nityam vayus sarvatra go mahan tatha sarvani bhutani matstani upadharaya. He says, at the time of the final dissolution of the universe, all beings enter my Prakriti, which is the prime cause. At the beginning of creation, I send them forth again. Thus, I release the beings again and again, according to their respective karmas or actions. I remain unattached to the actions of the beings and remain only as a witness. Krishna then describes the path of knowledge and also the path of devotion. Those who follow the path of knowledge worship the unmanifested divinity in its absolute formless aspect. Through their offering of knowledge, they worship the unmanifested divinity as one with themselves. There are others who worship his universal form through the path of devotion, in many ways through different forms of deities, taking God to be manifold. Jnanayajnena chapyanye yajanto mamupasate ekatvena pratatvena bahuda vishvato mukham. In order to bring home the point that the entire universe is nothing but Brahman, and it is Brahman alone which is the reality, Krishna says by giving a big list, I am the Vedic ritual, I am the sacred mantra, I am the sacrifice, I am the sacred fire, I am the offering to the departed, I am the herbage and food grains, I am the clarified butter, I am the sustainer and ruler of this universe, etc. Coming to the subject of devotion, Krishna says, those who perform action with some interested motive worship me through various acts. It's okay. As a result of their virtuous deeds, they reach heaven and enjoy the celestial pleasures of gods there. But when the stock of their merits gets exhausted, they return to this world of mortals. Thus, seeking worldly enjoyments, they repeatedly ascend to heaven by virtue of their merits and return to earth when their fruits have been enjoyed. But it is preferable to constantly think of me and worship me in a desireless fashion. To those people, I provide welfare and prosperity. Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. Clarifying this further, he says, those who worship me come to me alone. Even those devotees who, endowed with faith, worship me in different forms, worship me alone. It is because I am the Lord of all, even though they may not be aware of this. Extolling the virtue of devotion, he says, whosoever offers me with love a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or even water, I appear in person before that selfless devotee and delightfully accept that article offered by him. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer as oblation to the sacred fire, whatever you bestow as a gift, offer it all to me. Establish yourself in the yoga of renunciation in this manner, offering all actions to me. By so doing, you will be freed from the bondage of action in the shape of good and evil results. Thus, freed from the bondage of the results of your actions, you will attain me. Patram pushpam palam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhaktyupahritam asnami prayatatmanah yad karoshi yadasnasi yajjuhoshi dadasi yat yattapasyasi kaunteya tat kurushve madarpanam shubha shubha phalairevam mokshase karma bandhanai sannyasa yoga yuktatma vimukto mamupaishyasi. Extolling the virtues of devotion further, Krishna says, my devotee never suffers degradation. I am equally present in all beings, and there is none hateful or dear to me. Those who devoutly worship me abide in me, and I too stand revealed in them. Even if a person who has done misdeeds realizes those misdeeds and worships me with exclusive devotion, he will become virtuous and attain peace and tranquility. Therefore, constantly worship me. Fix your mind on me. Be devoted to me and make obeisance to me. Thus, linking yourself with me and entirely depending on me, you shall definitely reach me. Manmana bhava bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyasi yuktvaivam atmanam atparayanah. Canto 10 is known as Vibhuti Yoga, namely the yoga of divine glories. Krishna says, Arjuna, I am unborn and without beginning. I am the Supreme Lord of the entire universe. No one, not even the gods and the great sages, know about my origin, but I am the prime cause of all of them. He who knows me in this manner is an undeluded person who is purged of all sins. Name viduhu suraganaha prabhavam namaharshayah ahamadir hi devanam maharshinam cha sarvashah yomam ajamanadim cha vetti loka maheshwaram asammudas samatyeshu sarvapapai pramuchyate. The various characteristics and feelings existing in various creatures like reasoning, clear understanding, right knowledge, etc. emanate from me and owe existence to me alone. Buddhirjnanamasammohaha kshama satyam damashamaha sukham dukkham bhavo bhavo bhayam cha bhayameva cha ahimsa samata atushtihi tapo danam yasho yashaha bhavanti bhava bhutanam mattajeva pradakvidhaha. I am the source of all creation. Everything in the world functions due to me. He who knows this supreme divine glory and power of mine gets established in me through devotion. Aham sarvasya prabhavaha matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhavasamanvitaah. I always remain in the hearts of those who are ever united through meditation with me and worshipping me with love. I illumine their knowledge by dispelling their darkness born of ignorance. Arjuna then wants to know how and in what particular form a person should constantly think and worship the Almighty God to comprehend the glory of the Lord. Krishna then says, Arjuna, there is no limit to my manifestations. I am the universal self, seated in the heart of all beings. So, I alone am the beginning, the middle, and also the end of all beings. Ahamatma gudakesha sarvabhutashayasthitah aham adischa madhyam cha bhutanam antayevacha. Krishna then goes on listing his various embodiments and manifestations. He says, among the luminaries of the sky, I am the radiant sun. I am the glow of the 49 wind gods called as the Maruts. Among the stars, I am the moon. Among the Vedas, I am the Samaveda. Among the gods, I am Indra. I am the mind among the organs of perception. And I am the life energy in all living beings. Adityanam aham Vishnuhu Jyotisham Raviram Shuman Marichir Marutam Asmi Nakshatranam aham Shashi Vedanam Samavedosmi Devanam Asmi Vasavah Indriyanam Manaschasmi Bhutanam Asmi Chetanam. In conclusion, he says, I am the seed of all life, because there is no creature, moving or inert, which exists without me. What I said so far is only a brief description of my glory. There is no limit to my divine manifestations. All beings which are glorious, brilliant, and powerful are manifestations of my glory. Yachapi sarvabhutanam bijam tadaham Arjuna natadasti vinayasyan maya bhutam characharam nantosti mama divyanam vibhutinam parantapa yeshatu deshatah prokto vibhuter vistaro maya yadyat vibhuti matsatvam Simadurjitamevavam Tattadeva Bhakachatvam Mama Tejon Sasambhavam. Then he says, what will you gain by knowing all this in detail, Arjuna? Let me simply say that I stand holding this entire universe by a fraction of my yogic power. Athava bahunahitena kim jnatena tavarjuna vishtabhyahamidam krishnam ekam shena sthito jagat. Canto 11 is called the Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga, namely the yoga of the vision of the universal form. In this canto, Krishna exhibits the vision of his universal form, the cosmic vision, known as the Vishwarupa Darshana. Arjuna thanks Krishna for the words of spiritual wisdom and says that he is cleared of his delusion. He then says, "But I long to see your glorious and effulgent divine form, possessed of wisdom, energy, strength and valor. If you think that it can be seen by me, then reveal to me your imperishable form." Evametad yatha tattvam atmanam parameshvara drashtumichhami te rupam aishwaram purushottama manyase yadita shakyam mayad adrashtumiti prabho yogeshvara tato me tvam darshayat manamavyayam. Krishna then says, "I shall show you my manifold, multifarious divine forms, but you cannot see them with these human eyes of yours. Therefore, I give you the divine eye with which you can see them all. Natu mam shakyase drashtum anenaiva swachakshusha divyam dadami te chakshuhu pashyame yogamaishwaram." So saying, Krishna reveals to Arjuna his supremely glorious divine form. Arjuna then sees a wonderful sight of the Supreme Deity. He sees the whole universe. The chapter gives an elaborate description of the divine form. The splendor of the deity is so great that even the effulgence of 1,000 suns cannot match it anywhere near. With the hair standing on end, he looks at the scene with wonderment. It is a terrific scene. Arjuna says, "I see within your body all gods and different beings, Brahma, Shiva, and all sages and celestial serpents. I see you possessing numerous eyes, mouths, arms, and bellies. I see neither your beginning, nor middle, nor the end. I see you endowed with diadems, clubs, and discuses, a mass of splendor glowing all around, hot to gaze at, and immeasurable on all sides. The space between heaven and earth and all the quarters are entirely filled by you alone. Pashyami devam tava deva dehe sarvam stata bhuta visesha sanghan brahmanamisham kamalasanastham rishimscha sarvanuragamscha divyan aneka bahu dharavaktra netram pashyami tvam sarvato nantarupam nantam na madhyam na punastavadim pashyami Vishveshwara Vishwarupa Kiritinam Gadinam Chakrinam Cha Tejorashim Sarvato Diptimantam Pashyami Tvam Durniriksham Samantad Diptanalarkad Dyutimaprameyam. He goes on describing what he sees, including a vision of Krishna devouring all the Kouravas. Struck with fear and bewilderment, Arjuna exclaims, just as the moths rush with speed into the blazing fire for extinction out of their folly, all these people are speedily entering your mouth to meet their doom. I see you swallowing them through your blazing mouths, licking them on all sides. Tell me who you are with such a terrible form. I pay my obeisance to you. Be kind to me. Akyahi me ko bhavanugrarupo namostute devavara prasida vigyatamichami bhavantamadhyam nahi prajanami tava pravrittim. Krishna replies, I am the mighty Kala, the eternal time spirit. I am the destroyer of the worlds. I am exterminating these people. These warriors stand already slain by me. Drona, Bhishma, Jayadratha, Karna, and other brave warriors stand already killed by me. You are only an instrument for this purpose. Even without you, all these warriors shall die. Therefore, fear not. Fight and win glory. Dronam cha Bhishmam cha Jayadratham cha Karnam tatanya napiyo dhaviran Maya hatam tvam jahima avyatishta Yudhyasva jetasi rane sapatran. Arjuna then bows to Krishna and apologizes. Arjuna says, my salutations to you, my obeisance to you. Not knowing your greatness and thinking you only to be a friend, I have entreatingly and thoughtlessly called you through intimacy as Krishna, Yadava, comrade, and so on. I apologize for the way in which I have slighted you in jest. Please forgive me. Sakheti matva prasabam yaduktam He Krishna, He Yadava, He Sakheti Ajanata mahimanam tavedam Maya pramadat pranayena vapi Yachavahasartam krutosi Vihara shayyasana bhojaneshu Ekotavapyachuta tat samaksham Takshamaye tvam ahamaprameyam. Now that he sees this terrifying form of Krishna with fear and bewilderment, Arjuna begs Krishna to return to his previous, more human form. Then Krishna again reveals to Arjuna his own four-armed form. And then, assuming a genial form, Krishna consoles the frightened Arjuna. Arjuna then says, Krishna, seeing this kind human form of yours, I am myself again. I have regained my composure. Drishtvedam manusham rupam tava saumyam janardana idanim asmi samvrittaha sachetaha prakritim gataha. The 12th canto is called as the Bhakti Yoga, namely the yoga of devotion. Arjuna asks a specific question. I see that there are two types of worshippers. One type is those who worship you as possessed of form and attributes. Another type is those who adore you as the supreme reality, the unmanifest Brahman. Of these two types of worshippers, who is better? Krishna says that both are equally good, but it is easier for the worshipper with form and attributes. He says, I consider them to be the best, who are always united through meditation with me and worship me with supreme faith and devotion, with the mind centered on me. Maya veshya mano ye mam nityayukta upasate shraddhaya parayopetaha te me yuktatama mataha. He says that the strain is greater for those who have their mind attached to the unmanifest, as harmonizing and coordinating with the unmanifest is attained with difficulty by the body-conscious people. Kleshodhikarastesham avyakta saktachetasam avyakta hi gatir dukkham Dehavad biravapyate. Then Krishna praises the aspect of devotion by saying, I speedily deliver them from the ocean of birth and death of those who exclusively depend on me, constantly meditate on me with a single pointed devotion, and surrender all actions to me. Ye tu sarvani karmani mayi sanyasya matparaha ananyenaiva yogena mam dhyayanta upasate teshamaham samudharta mrityu samsara sagarat bhavami nachirat partha Maya veshita chetasam. Krishna lists 4 options that will lead a person to God. The first is meditating wholly on God. If such meditation is not possible, then the person should live a life devoted to God. If a person is unequal even to this task, then he must resort to the path of action dedicated to God. Even if this is not possible, then subduing his mind and intellects, etc., the person should relinquish the fruit of all actions. Mayyeva mana atastva mayi buddhim niveshaya nivasishyasi mayyeva ata urdhvam na samshayah athachittam samadhatum na shaknoshi mayi sthiram Abhyasayogena tato mamichhaptum dhananjaya Abhyasepyasamarthosi matkarma paramo bhava madartamapi karmani kurvan siddhamavapsyasi athaidadapyasaktosi kartum madhyogamashritah sarvakarma phalathyagam tatah kuru yatatmavan. Then Krishna gives a list of people who are dear to him and whom he likes most. They are one who is friendly and compassionate, free from ill feeling towards all beings, and is forgiving by nature. One who is rid of the feeling of I and mine. One who is balanced during happiness and sorrow. One who has subdued his mind, senses, and the body and is ever contented. One who is determinate and has surrendered his mind and reason to God. One who is not a source of annoyance to his fellow creatures. One who does not feel vexed with fellow creatures. One who is free from delight, envy, fear, and anxiety. One who is both internally and externally pure. One who is wise and impartial and has risen above all distractions. One who renounces the sense of doership in all undertakings. One who neither rejoices nor hates, nor grieves nor desires. One who renounces both good and evil actions. One who deals equally with friend and enemy. One who remains tranquil in contrary experiences like honor and dishonor, heat and cold, pleasure and pain. One who is free from attachment. One who takes praise and criticism alike. One who is given to contemplation. One who is contented with whatever he gets. Adveshta sarvabhutanam maitra karuna evacha nirmamo nirahankaraha sama dukkha sukha kshami santushtas satatam yogi yatatma drida nishchayah mayyarpita mano buddhihi yo mad bhakta same priyah yasmanno dvijate loko lokanno dvijate chayah harsha bhayodvegaihi mukto yas sachame priyah anapeksha suchirdaksha udasino gatavyatah sarvarambha parityagi yo madbhakta same priyah yo na hrishyati na dveshti na shochati na kankshati shubha shubha parityagi bhaktimanya same priyah samashatrau cha mitre cha tatha manapamanayo sitoshna sukha dukkeshu samasanga vivarjitah तुल्यनिन्दास्तुतिर्मौनी सन्तुष्टो येन केनचित् अनिकेतस्थिरमतिः भक्तिमान् मे प्रियो नरः एतु धर्म्यामृतमिदं यथोक्तं पर्युपासते श्रद्धधाना मत्परमा भक्तास्तेऽतीव मे प्रियाः।